All right, everyone, welcome on back. We're still down here at Geek Kon, and I'm here with Christopher Jones. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah.
We'll do that. Yeah. I'm having a great time. This is my second year at Geek Kon, so I knew to look forward to it, and it has not disappointed.
All right, tell us a little bit about your work. Obviously, you're an artist in the comic book world. You've done Young Justice before. Any other projects you've done in the past that people would be familiar with?
I've done a story for the Batman 66 comic that DC puts out that's based on the 1960s Adam West Batman TV series.
The best Batman.
Yeah, it's good stuff. My other Batman credit before that, I had been the regular artist on The Batman Strikes, which was a tie-in to one of the Batman animated series. And I also drawn a few issues of Justice League Adventures, which was another animation tie-in. I've done a bunch of those. I've also done stuff not based on animation. I did a science fiction series called Parallel Man. I've done a bunch of different stuff for DC and Marvel and smaller publishers. It's nice to mix it up and do a lot of different things.
Exactly what got you started in the whole realm of the comic books and superhero genre?
I don't remember ever not wanting to do this. I've got the job I wanted when I was 5 years old, which I know makes me very, very lucky. But yeah, there was never a moment where I decided this is what I wanted to do. It was more just as I grew up, I learned more and more about getting better at doing the drawing, but learning more about how the business works and how you go looking for work. And I've been trying to work my way up in the business. I've been able to do it full time now for about 12 years, so seems to be doing okay.
Now, when I was a kid, I remember comic books, it was more about the writer than the artist back when I was younger and stuff, and now it seems more like the artist has come more forward as the main piece of the comic, and the writing has sort of become the secondary. Have you noticed that as well?
Well, it tends to go in cycles as far as, what the fans really gravitate towards. You've had periods of superstar artists and periods of superstar writers. I think you can. My real feeling is that you can't have a great comic without both the writing and the art being really good. If there's a difference between the two, it's that if the art isn't effectively telling the story, it can just ruin the comic, because you don't get to read the script that the writer turned in. So if the art doesn't sufficiently convey the atmosphere, the mood, everything that the script calls for, it's not going to work. If the art is good, well, you can at least still enjoy it for the art. If the story isn't great, but that's not that satisfying. You really need both to be good to be a great comic.
Yeah. Now, what were say your big influences as far as comic book artists when you were growing up? Who was your favorite artist?
Oh goodness! Well, I started reading comics, in the point where I was paying any attention to who was writing and drawing them started in the mid to late 70s, and so everyone from Neil Adams to Jim Aparo eventually really got into the works of John Byrne and George Perez and Gil Kane, and obviously the giants were still around, Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and those guys. I always loved not just what was coming out now, but older stuff. So I go back to the golden age artists and everything. I like a lot of mix of different things.
Now I noticed you are the guy that actually did the Svengoolie drawing that is seen on the back of his show. How'd that ever come about?
Well, I grew up in an area where there weren't any horror host shows airing. So, I'd read about the phenomenon of these, horror host late night movie shows, and they sounded really great, but I never had a chance to watch any of them. And then Svengoolie got picked up by MeTV, which is a digital tier channel, and I finally had a chance to watch it regularly in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, which is where I live, and became a fan. And I regularly appear at the C2E2 Comics and Entertainment Expo in Chicago, and Svengoolie was out there a couple years ago to do a one-day signing on Saturday, and I got to meet him, and he was really nice, and it was really great. And so I decided that before the next year, I was going to do this piece, this portrait of him, and see if I could give him a copy. And we'd met his producer, at the previous year, so we reached out to him in advance and said, I've got something for Sven. Do you think we could make sure that we connect when we're both at the convention? And he came by with a camera crew and did a little quick interview with me, and then I said, by the way, I've got something for you. And I gave it to him, and he seemed to really like it, which was very gratifying for me. And then what I didn't expect at all is he ended up adding it to his set. So yeah, if you watch Svengoolie and they do the little email segment towards the end of the show, it's there on his back wall. And that was just incredibly flattering to me, and it's fun getting to see my art on television every week.
Yes, it is. We actually have a local artist out here, Glenn Lentz. He's done a few really great superhero drawings of us. Maybe, sometime you'd like to do a nice little freak show or a drizzle drawing,
That would be fun. That would be great.
That's amazing, man. And do you have any upcoming projects that people should be on the lookout for?
I'm doing a lot of piecemeal stuff right now. I've got the next big thing I'm going to be doing is a graphic novel written by Tony Lee, who has written a bunch of stuff, including some of the Doctor Who comics that were put out by IDW. We haven't announced that yet, so I can't say what the name is, but that'll be the next big thing that'll be keeping me busy for about 6 months, so be on the lookout for that.
All right, and if anyone wants to take a look at your work or learn more about you, is there a website they could look it up at?
I am on the web at www.christopherjonesart.com, and that has links to not only my email, but all my social media. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and all kinds of stuff, so you can find me there.
All right, well, thank you very much, sir. It's been an honor.
To you.
All right, thank you.